It's a 10 out of 10, no question. Straight to the point, no fluff, no nonsense. If you want to know the good, the bad, the in-between, stick around. Break it up into categories. There's definitely ways that you can dissect this and make this seem like it's not a 10 out of 10 game. Of course, no game is perfect. I couldn't name a game that's perfect, but overall rating is going to be 10 out of 10. In the categories that we are going to go through now, I'll tell you exactly the details of what makes it this. But on a base level, if you want to play the game, there's no reason not to. You will have a great time. The story is a solid 10 out of 10. I couldn't actually fault anything to the story. I would give it higher if I could. Due to it being based on Journey to the West, well, actually, it's technically a sequel to Journey to the West. It's impossible to argue it's a 10 out of 10. Is confusing. The same with Chapter 5 is quite confusing. Pros of the story, very detailed. Very immersive and very accurate to the lore. They also added their own twist. The only cons to the story would also be, can be hard to follow, can be. They didn't specifically tell you anything, but when you compare it to something like Elden Ring, you don't tend to really feel like you're not being told the full story. If I had to boil down the story aspect of it in one sentence or one point, if you think that's what's going on, it's pretty much what's going on. They shouldn't have to confirm that to you. It's a 10 out of 10. They just took it even further and made it even better. Graphics are great, 10 out of 10. I have no issues with the graphic. If you wanted to be, specific, yeah, you could go 9 out of 10 if you like specific things. But in terms of will you enjoy watching this game? Yes, of course. A casual score is, it's a 10 out of 10 on graphics. What more could you want from it? The combat is extremely satisfying. It's unique. It's different. You have choice. You have freedom. You can play how you want. Anytime I would see a video of someone else playing, I would be playing a completely different style, even though there's only 3 stances. And I like the addition of a secret stance, which is, I like it. In terms of sound design, the score is amazing. Rating, I would give it an 8 to 9, only because it's not pushed into your ears, which I don't know if it is a bad thing. The score essentially jumps out at you. It creates the emotion. Any emotional scenes, I felt the emotion there behind it. So I guess in a way they did hit the criteria. Is it memorable? No, not really. Replayability? There's incentive to replay, especially as a lot of people think to get the true ending, you have to replay. Untrue. On my first gameplay, I got the true ending. However, the bad ending you also want. So I would say the best way to play would be get the bad ending, then just continue the journey and redo secret stuff and then get the true ending. However, I will say I was constantly jumping to want to play this game again. PS5 isn't in my lounge, but if my PS5 was in my lounge, I'd be playing it still to this day, especially due to the news that there are DLCs coming very soon. I would give the replayability a rating of 6, 7 out of 10. For reference, a 10 for replayability would be something like Baldur's Gate 3. What I loved about Wukong, there are so many things I love about this game. It's just everything about it, the way of the world building, the story, the gameplay. I think that if I was to highlight, you can tell they put a lot of effort into this game. Continuing the journey to the West, essentially. Sometimes the story's a bit foggy, and if you haven't read the book or know nothing about it, you have a fun time, but you won't understand it entirely. But if you know about it, it's a very good experience. They even go as far as to, at the end of each chapter, they then do an animation to explain the story that just happened, the lore, or what is going to happen in the next chapter, or just something about the main character in the story, which I thought was really good. Gameplay, very, very good. Is it too difficult? No, it is not difficult. That's a lie. It's difficult, but it's not as difficult as people imply. There's a big argument going on, which we'll touch on in a bit. Is it as hard as a Souls-like? Is it Elden Ring hard? That's very opinionated. It depends on you, realistically. The true ending boss, he's a 9. He's a 9, 10. But, it's optional. Yeah, combat does feel rewarding. If you read what the game provides you, you will enjoy it so much more. But some fights you just can't use certain things for, and you have to adapt. And I do think that does play well into the game's mechanics. The art style is fantastic. I think it's very nice to see something so mystical and so interesting to look at in such a well created package. Nothing's bad. Everything looks great. I don't know, me, I can't tell if I'm biased or if I just love this game. The last game that made me feel this connected and made me love it so much was Ghost of Tsushima. So if that doesn't tell you how good this game is, I don't know what will. Let's move on to what fell short. When I think about what fell short, the first thing that comes to my mind, and this is a common problem in most games, not every boss will be perfect, but some bosses are miserable. Is that a bad thing on the game? No, I guess not. There are a few, without spoiling it, that are just big things you can't avoid. There's hitboxes are ridiculous, and once you get past it, you feel more a relief of, thank gosh, I don't want to have to go back to that. And that would have maybe make you not want to replay, especially if you're not as skilled at the game as some others may be. I would say some bosses, I will say, are very much irritating. Bosses overall, there's so many that the ones that are bad don't overtake all the ones that are great, and even the ones that are just good. I would say some bosses though, boy, if you see my gameplay, chapter 3 is where I almost lost my brain. There's not much else that fell short in my opinion. As I've mentioned before, everything seems to tick the boxes. Only things that I think fell short. Specific bosses that were just dumb. That's all you think when you're playing it. Dumb. Hitboxes can be inaccurate, but these things are fixable, I suppose. Certain bosses are incredibly hard, not because they're difficult, because their health pool is very large. It becomes more of a tedious waiting game than it does a fight. But some bosses are made and done perfectly where you feel like you're fighting this strong creature, but you don't feel overpowered, but you know there's a skill level to learn. Some bosses, you feel like you are beating them at every point, but they hit you once and your health's gone, or you aren't even making a scratch on their health. Adds to the game. I understand some things some people like that, so I can't say that is 100% fact. False. Not something you want to do. Doesn't make sense. It's opinionated, you know? No bullshit. No nonsense. Elden Ring and Wukong are incomparable. I'm telling, my review is always going to be for the viewer that just wants to know if they should play the game. There's so many details you can go into in a game, but the common argument I keep seeing, Elden Ring's harder, Wukong's too easy.
Their lives have meaning because we, the living, refuse to forget them. And as we ride to
Elden, I beat this blah, 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 blah.
I want to work with the nonchalant dreadhead. No, I'm going to work with the nonchalant.
Is it harder than Elden Ring? I don't know. Who knows? That's dependent. They're not the same thing. It's not Souls-like. It just isn't. Souls-like is just Souls-like. They're their own thing. Is it a game? Yeah. Where there's loads of bosses with slight difficulty? Yeah. Is it as hard as Elden Ring? That depends how you play Elden Ring. If you play Elden Ring and you have a broken build, or even something that's slightly broken, I had a pretty broken build in Elden Ring, then Elden Ring is going to be easier. If you're torturing yourself in Elden Ring, where you're using nothing but a club and butt cheek, you are going to find Elden Ring harder. The hardest boss in Elden Ring, equal difficulty to the hardest boss in Wukong. Don't let that scare you now. The hardest boss in Wukong is optional. Yeah, if you want the true ending, it's still optional. Yeah. But the reason they're equal is Elden Ring's hardest boss, which is up to opinion, but I think we all know the two we're talking about here. The same with all the others in the Souls-like Orphan of Kos. Now I'm getting in. You see how now I'm getting involved in this debate. And I'm only using Elden Ring because that's the comparison I keep seeing. I don't care with who's who. I don't need to compare the two games. When I'm cutting the bullshit, I'm telling you. The main point I'm making, what was the main point? I would say the true ending boss in Wukong was more enjoyable, mainly because there was an answer to every problem they threw at you, whereas in Elden Ring and Souls-like games, the answer is just dodge everything and hit when you can and don't get greedy. I am greedy. I believe in the greed when it comes to these games. I will always be greedy. See what I mean? It's a no bullshit moment, and it's hard to cut the bullshit because the point is bullshit. If you liked Elden Ring, yes, you will like this game. You'll have fun. If you didn't like Elden Ring, you will still like it because they're completely different. If you found Elden Ring hard, you will find this hard too, undeniably. Why am I talking about Elden Ring when I'm talking about Wukong? That's the issue here. I guess that highlights how good of a game Elden Ring is. Who is the game for? If you love mythology and you love deep, rich story with loads of lore that has no holes, you will love this game. It is for you. If you are a couch chill gamer coming home and you want to play something that is relaxing, the only thing I wouldn't recommend it for is if you don't like anything difficult or you're just not used to games that are difficult. Spend your time gaming, you want to play something that you don't have to think about, and this is a game you still have to think about. Some people like to come home and just play Call of Duty. If that's you, this game isn't for you. That loves watching movies, this is the game for you. You are just in the movie. If you want a smooth, casual experience, you can do that on this game, but there just isn't a difficulty option. So if you aren't looking forward to coming home and not getting past the boss, then maybe just watch the game and don't buy it and just watch someone else play it. That's my recommendation. But is it too hard for you? No, of course not. Anyone can beat this game. It just takes a little bit of practice, especially if you're not used to this. If you're used to Souls games, you'll find this fine. If you've beaten any Souls game, you have what it takes to beat this game without feeling like your soul is being taken away from you. If you liked God of War, you will like this game. If you love, I should have said loved. If you love God of War, you will love this. They're basically the same thing, I would say. Alright, okay. Final verdict. Should you buy the game? Yes. It is an amazing experience. Odds are you will like this game. I've explained throughout the video why you wouldn't, but a no bullshit review is you will like this game. No one would hate this game. Everyone would find this interesting. You will like it. My overall rating of this game, experiencing this from chapter 1 to chapter 6, is every single chapter I loved it. I couldn't wait to go play it. I beat the game the other day, and now I feel like my life has come to a halt and I have nothing left to do. So now I'm writing a review to make myself feel better. That's how much I like the game. So maybe I'm biased. Try it out. If you don't like it, you can always return the game. I think if you buy the game and you beat chapter 1 and you don't like it, yeah, I would definitely then return the game. My main advice for playing this game to get the full experience would be to, if you got all the time in the world, read Journey to the West. Even if you beat the game, read Journey to the West. Journey to the West is an amazing piece of literature, and I think everyone should read it. Most of the things you enjoy are based on that. Everything is really got some kind of influence from Journey to the West. As everyone knows, Goku...
It's me, Goku! It's me, Goku! It's me, Goku! It's me, Goku!
The game is Goku is based on that guy. There's loads of references and stuff. The reason I say to read the book is because there's so many references. It is fan service times a million. Although, if you do not have time to read the book, I would recommend to watch Overly Sarcastic Productions. I rewatched all of these before I played, just to recap my brain on what was going on.
Gives him a new name, derived from a large number of increasingly complex character traits, and long story short, his name is now Sun Wukong. So after
they break everything down for you in a very easy to digest way. They make it very casual, but it definitely explains everything you could possibly need to know. There's some stuff that won't come up. I would say key names, But if you don't care and you just want a fun game to play that shit. It's a play. That is my review for Black Myth Wukong. If you made it this far into the video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below if there's anything you'd like me to review afterwards. Any game I play, I'm trying to review it. I'm trying to do a first impressions review, then an end impression review, so you get my take in both things, and I can bring up some points to maybe highlight if they were true or not, and to see if I was just being a dick on the game or not. But as it is concerned, like, subscribe, see you in the next video. Go play that game.